Good morning, AO. Shelley Merrell here, coming to you from Ventura, California. I am a fire protection contractor out here in what is now sunny Southern California. Thank God, we're finally drying out from all the sogginess from all the flooding rains. I'm here for my mentor session. I have a few questions I'm going to give my perspective on. By the way, I hope you're all doing well. If I didn't say that before, I'll get right into this. So my first question comes from Jennifer. How do I demote my operations manager back to assistant? The background is I own a bookkeeping firm and promoted my assistant to operations manager. After a few months, I realized that the promotion is premature as this is not the right skill set for the individual. I've been in that situation before, Jennifer, definitely. It's never easy. Definitely a tough one. What I would look at first is my core values. Is that person in line with at least the core values? Then I would think about having a conversation about the expectations of the position, kind of redefining what the role is and making sure that the person taking the role believes they can do it, wants to do it. Wanting to do it is half the battle. And if it could be that that person is feeling like they're inadequate as well. And I actually had that happen in my situation here. I put somebody in charge of HR who was all gung-ho, wanted to do it. And then she came back to me and said, you know what, this is not for me. And so it's possible that that person might be feeling that way as well. If I were in that position, I would definitely have a conversation with that person and ask them, how are they feeling about their job? Are they feeling overwhelmed? Because human nature, nobody really wants to do a poor job. So it might be just a matter of communication and see where that leads. That would always be my starting point, is just communicating. And hopefully that helps. But I have been in that situation. It's not easy to handle, and I feel for you on that one. So keep us posted on how that goes. My next question is from Eric Blandino. What are ways that we can have our team members earn our/my trust in the field to focus on the work and not take advantage of time? I feel like team members will take advantage working independently when not watched. The background is we're in the business of giving people their homes back from the invasion of rats. Our team members execute the processes in the field individually with a schedule. I've been told by 2 team members in the past that I/we don't trust our team members because we have trackers in the vehicles, and I question them on time management. I've seen them stop at their home, grab food in between accounts, pick up pets, etc., all on company time in our company vehicle. Yeah, in the service industry, I have that same issue with people. I'll tell you a story real quick. We actually, several years ago, we actually caught 2 guys fishing. No joke. Like, it was bad. One of them is no longer with us. The other one, we kind of did the bad cop, good cop scenario here. And the other one is one of our key top employees now. So it was the influence of the person who's no longer with us that was kind of pulling that other person down the bad path. Anyway, so what I have found, well, what I recently came up up with when I was renewing my insurances and my auto insurance. They are actually requiring me to be part of a program that has monitors on the trucks that they insure. And so it's possible to use that as your reasoning for having those things on your trucks. I have trackers on my vehicles, and I've never had anybody come back and say they don't feel like they're trusted. But at the same time, I always I reiterate often that the truck they work out of is basically their office that I am providing to them. And it's not their property. And it has nothing to do with trust. And I've told them before, it actually can help protect them as well. If they're being accused of something, you've got proof in the vehicle that that particular situation wasn't happening. So there's a couple ways to spin it. I would definitely point out that fleet management often requires tracking, and that they would actually be, it would be hard for them to find a fleet of trucks that are not being tracked these days, especially these days. And I find it interesting that our auto insurance is actually requiring it for every vehicle that I even have a few that I hadn't quite gotten set up on the system yet, and now I have to because insurance is requiring it. Let me see. In that situation too, I've had a lot of employees burn me, and so I will sometimes touch on that. If I feel like my employees are feeling untrusted or whatnot, I will share a story with them about something that's happened in the past that kind of shaped who I am and how my trust is given out. You know, trust isn't just defaulted, it has to be earned. And so they need to earn your trust, basically. I often in our employee meetings too, I will make it clear to them that they're out in the field representing me. And if it's not something I would do or something I would say, then I would expect them to also not do that or say that. And, you know, people are people. People are people-y. We hear that often. And, yeah, I like that little saying where I don't want to go outside, it's too people-y. Well, people like this are why that saying came to be. But I would just kind of, you know, point out the fact maybe that you've had a situation in the past where you've been burned, and it's your responsibility to make sure that the rest of them are doing what they need to be doing, and that some people aren't. So that's how I would handle it. I haven't gone so far as to write somebody up yet for the things that they do in their vehicle. Like if they're going through a drive-thru and picking up food, we actually don't care about that. But in a smaller company, it does affect the bottom line. I get it. But at the same time, see, it's a fine line of balancing, because you want these people to want to work for you and be loyal to you and all that. But, you know, it's that give and take, and it's a balancing act for sure. So hopefully a little bit of that helps. I wish you the best, but blame the insurance company for the trackers. That's just, I'm assuming all insurance companies that handle auto are now doing that. So, okay, so the next question is from Dalen. Asked, what are the first steps I need to do in order to start my business? Background. I want to start a business for leatherwork gloves. The difference with mine is that the stitching will be on the outside, not on the inside. I got this idea from the auto racing industry. Having the stitching on the outside makes the glove significantly more comfortable and allows for the user to have a better feel, as if you aren't even wearing gloves. At this point, this is only an idea. I don't have any experience in creating a business, so my question is, how do I even get started? I apologize if that is a generic question, but that's where I'm at right now. Thank you for any insight. Well, Dalen, I get it. We all start from somewhere, and it's all a learning process, and I'm constantly evolving, learning stuff new all the time. So never feel bad about asking these questions. That's how we learn, and that's how we grow. So I'm glad you're here and asking this question. So if I were in your shoes, first I would decide what business structure I want to have. Do I want it to be a sole proprietorship, an LLC, an S Corp, or a corporation? That would be my first thing. So those are the items I would be Googling and researching how to structure a business first. That would be my first step. My second step would be whatever city I'm located in, I would go to that city's website. I've yet to come across a city website that doesn't have a resource area that talks about doing business in the city, or a checklist, the things that you need to know to get. For instance, a business license in the city you're working. That's one thing. A fictitious business name statement. Once you decide what your corporate structure or your company structure is going to be based on, you are required to file a fictitious business name statement. I think that's federal. I'm not sure. But typically when you open a bank account, you have to take your proof of that fictitious business name filing with you, because banks have to verify that you're actually a business or going to be a business. My next step after searching your city or county and getting the information on starting a business in your location, I would then begin thinking about what processes am I going to need in place to get this off the ground. What type of sewing machines, what type of thread, where is it going to be set up, who's going to do the cutting of the gloves, who's going to do the sizing, who's going to do this and that and the other. I would write processes so that you already have those in place before you hire your first employee or person. I don't know if you're going to sub it out or what you're going to do, but if I were thinking like this, that would be the way I'd go. Then my next step would be creating my employee handbook. And I would be searching my city or county or state labor laws and creating my employee handbook based on the laws in my area. There's a lot of HR consultants out there, and you might be able to get a consultation for free or for a very minimal amount. You might be able to get a consultation with an HR professional that would actually put together your handbook for a fee. So those are the steps I would take, and I look forward to watching you grow. Like, why not? You know, if you see a gap in something, you fill it. That's how businesses become businesses. You know, it's always based on a need. So good for you. I'm glad you're here. Okay, my next question is from Robin Turpin. Hi, Robin. Okay. How much should I charge for a print that costs $7 plus the time to create the original? Background is art for calm. I want to keep my prices down to sell quantity. I wonder if I'm selling myself short because I'm not charging enough. Thoughts? Thank you so much. Okay, so I can talk from my experience. In my experience, we mark our parts up 1.6. Okay, if a part is $25, we do times 1.6, and that's our selling price on the calculator. I don't know if, like, how much is the original? And has the original sold? What did it sell for? How do you know what the cost was for creating the original? Did you sit down and figure out the hours? Do you have a labor rate? That kind of stuff. Based on me buying prints out in the world, to me, well, depending on the size, to me, $7 seems very reasonable. Something like that, if I really liked it and wanted to frame it, I would pay $19.99. You know, $19.99 seems to be some kind of a catch number out there. So there's a few different things that need to be looked at, which are the things I already mentioned before. How long did it take to create the original? Did the original sell? How much did it sell for? Are there different prices for different sizes? Do you offer framing, non-framing? Those are questions I would ask, and then it would be easier to come up with a price. I hope that helps. I would pay $19.99, but you know, hey, that's just me. And hey, inflation too, you know. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Robin will keep us posted on that one. Okay, so my last question is from Rohit Gupta. How do I deal with a sibling in business? Sorry, I'm having allergies. I don't know if the rest of y'all are dealing with the super bloom going on right now, but my allergies are crazy. Okay, background is I'm having issues with my brother in getting work done. It's like he depends on me what has to be done when I've told him to write out your tasks. Seems like he's got an employee mindset and needs to be told what to do. He's CEO of the company, and I can't be CEO because my credit is not good in case I ever need funding. I can't baby him or watch over him when I've got my own thing to do. I have talked to him about this before and things changed, but now back to normal state again. I am worried when the store comes if he'll put work in without me being there or making decisions on his own. I can't let him hold me back from doing the things I want to do with my life. Okay, so that statement makes me think, hi Robin, you're timing, to find out how long it takes. That's good, that's good, that's a good way to do it, timing it while you're doing the original. Awesome. Okay, so back to this. Family is never easy. When you're in business with them, I work with my husband, my son works with me. I get it. Like, it's not easy. What I try to do in my business is I try to have as open communication as possible. I would, if you can't get that person to write out their tasks, write them for him. I would actually sit and write out the roles for him, give them to him, and then have him review them and see if that fits. It could be that maybe he just doesn't really know where to start. I'm not sure. But communication will help take care of that. Have you done your core values? Is he living by the core values if they're there? Those are a great tool to use to fall back on when things are not being done in the way they need to be done, and sticking to the core values. So Sean will always talk about core values. I will always talk about core values, and it is really great. Then regarding the credit, I do want to point out, because I went through a situation too where my credit got really low because of some other stuff that happened. But bad credit is not forever. At the very most, it's 7 years of bad credit. And what I did to help mine is I joined Credit Karma, and I look at my credit rating like constantly. I look at the recommendations they're giving to me. I don't do it daily, but I would say I look at it probably weekly. And I get so excited watching it go up. And it's actually been an incentive for me to continue getting that up there. Then at least reading between the lines, I feel like you're kind of stuck like this. Your brother, maybe you would be firing him if you didn't feel stuck in a financial situation. I'm totally reading between the lines here. So getting that credit up will help with financial freedom. I know it takes time. It takes a lot of effort and energy and all that. But, man, I loved checking, and I still do all the time. I love checking my credit. And watching it go up, it just makes me want to get it higher and higher and higher. So that's what I do. And then, yeah, so it could be that you need to take a little bit of time. This is what I would do. Take a little bit of time and write out that job description of a CEO. I did recently I could probably send this to you. I did kind of a template for my admin people because I wanted to know what tasks each one is actually doing so that I can make sure my job descriptions are matching. Of course, I'm right in the middle of doing all that, but I did it on an Excel spreadsheet, and I said, I want to know every daily task you're doing and roughly how much time it takes. And I'm going to take that information, match it to our job descriptions, and possibly change my job descriptions. I had to put a date on it. I gave them a week and a half to get that completed. And then when that week and a half, when that date came, the due date, I asked them for them. If they hadn't already given them to me, I asked them for them. Putting a date on it just kind of solidifies it as a task that needs to be done. So telling somebody, hey, write up your tasks, that's so easy to put off because it's hard to stop. And I go through this with my training videos because it's hard to stop and slow down and break it out into little pieces. And so it's very, very easy to put it off. So those are a few things I would do if I was in your situation, and I hope that helps. Okay, that is all of my questions for now. As always, if any of you want to talk about any of this stuff further, feel free to message me. I'm always in and out of Facebook on the group chats and whatever. So definitely feel free to reach out. And keep asking questions. We love answering these questions and helping you guys. Our goal is to help as many people as possible. And if our experiences can help you, then it's definitely worth sharing. So I hope you all have a wonderful month and take care.